The story follows a young girl named Remy, who lives with her parents on a distant and unfamiliar planet. They reside in a lonely settlement known as Shuttle Colony, a place far away from Earth where only their small family lives. The land around them is completely barren. There are no birds in the sky, no people nearby, and no neighbors anywhere in sight. Their family has no communication with Earth, and their world feels isolated from the rest of humanity. Despite the emptiness around them, they manage to survive on their own. They maintain a small farm where they keep a few animals, and Remy's father grows vegetables inside a greenhouse. This quiet routine is how the family continues living day after day. However, Remy has always been curious about the world beyond their small colony. Her eyes constantly wander toward the distant mountains far away from their home. She often wonders what lies beyond those mountains. If she keeps traveling forward, will she discover another world? Will there be humans living there? Because of this curiosity, she dreams of exploring those mountains one day. But every time she talks about it, her mother immediately stops her. Remy's parents believe that someday more people will arrive and settle on this planet, turning it into a thriving colony like Earth. One evening, Remy's father returns home much later than usual. He looks extremely worried. Remy secretly overhears her parents talking. Her father suspects that strangers have been moving around their house. He believes someone might be trying to enter their home. Remy listens to everything and begins to feel uneasy. Later that night, her father comes to her room and gently reassures her. He tells her not to worry and says nothing bad will happen. He insists that whatever she heard earlier is nothing to be afraid of and that he will handle everything. But even after hearing his words, Remy still feels frightened. The next morning when she wakes up, something horrifying catches her eye. Written on the window in blood are the words, "Leave." Below it are the chilling words, "Go away from here." Seeing this terrifying message immediately fills her parents with fear. Her father quickly grabs his rifle and begins searching the area outside the house. Remy's mother pulls her close and hides with her. After some time, both parents hear voices outside. It sounds like several people talking, but in reality, there are only 3 strangers pretending to be 6, hoping to make the family believe a large group is surrounding the house. Since no one is visible, Remy's father becomes furious and shouts loudly into the empty land. He demands whoever is out there to come out and face him. Little Remy watches everything from a distance while hiding. She has never seen her father this angry and desperate before. The sight terrifies her. Throughout the day, her parents remain on high alert, watching the surroundings carefully. They keep asking themselves who these strangers could be and why they want to break into their home. Meanwhile, Remy becomes worried about the animals on their farm. She wonders if they are safe. Without telling her parents, she quietly sneaks out of the house. When she reaches the farm and sees the animals unharmed, she feels relieved and happy. But back at the house, her mother soon realizes Remy is missing. Panicked, she rushes outside to find her daughter. As Remy begins walking back toward the house, the strangers hiding nearby suddenly notice her. They attempt to capture the young girl, but at the last moment, Remy's father fires his rifle and kills one of the attackers. At the same time, Remy's mother confronts another man and brutally kills him with a knife. She immediately grabs Remy and rushes back inside the house. Outside, Remy's father continues fighting and manages to defeat the last enemy. During the fight, he shoots the man in the foot, leaving him badly injured. After the fight, Remy's father heads toward the distant mountains, hoping to make sure no more enemies are hiding nearby. Meanwhile, Remy's mother begins collecting weapons from the bodies of the dead attackers. While looking around, Remy notices something disturbing among the bodies. One of the dead strangers is a young girl. Shaken by what she sees, Remy stays close to her mother. Later, Remy and her mom lock themselves inside the house and wait for her father to return. Hours pass, and night slowly falls over the silent colony. But Remy's father never comes back. As the night grows longer, worry begins to fill Remy's mother's heart. Holding a large knife in her hand, she takes Remy with her and decides to search for her husband. Just as they prepare to leave, the door suddenly opens. A stranger walks into the house. At that moment, Remy's mother realizes the terrible truth. Her husband is dead. This man standing in front of them must have killed him. The stranger calmly introduces himself as Jerry. To their shock, he turns out to be the same man Remy's father shot the previous day. Jerry tells them that this place actually belongs to him. According to him, Remy's parents killed his mother and father and took over his home. Now that he has finally returned, he refuses to leave his house again. He says it took him a long time and a lot of struggle to reach this place. If they behave properly, he says, they can stay here with their daughter. He even claims that since he has already killed Remy's father, he is ready to take responsibility for both of them. Hearing these words fills Remy's mother with anger and fear. She quickly hides with Remy. Remy begins crying and begs her mother to leave the place immediately. She keeps saying they should go far away and never stay here again. But Remy's mother knows that surviving outside the colony is far more dangerous. Because of that, she decides to stay in the house with Jerry. However, she secretly has another plan in mind. When Jerry's attention shifts for a moment, Remy's mother suddenly rushes forward and attacks him with a knife. But Jerry is faster than she expected. He grabs her before she can stab him. Pointing a gun at her, he could easily kill her right there. Instead, he stops and makes an offer. Jerry tells her to give him 30 days to prove himself. He promises that he will not harm either her or Remy during that time. After a tense moment, Remy's mother finally speaks. She says she wants nothing from him. Her only wish is to bury her husband properly. Jerry agrees to this request. Together, they bury Remy's father along with the bodies of Jerry's companions who died during the attack. From that day on, Remy and her mother begin living under the same roof with a complete stranger. Remy constantly begs her mother to leave the place, but her mother knows the outside world is even more dangerous than Jerry himself, so they stay. Remy, however, begins secretly watching Jerry. She notices that he carries a large number of weapons. One day, when Jerry leaves the house, Remy searches through his bag. Inside, she finds a photograph. It shows a masked person and a young girl. The girl in the photo is the same one her mother killed during the attack. After this discovery, Remy and her mother start counting the days. They decide to wait for the 30 days Jerry promised. During this time, Jerry handles all the work outside the house. Meanwhile, Remy's mother takes care of the household tasks. One day, Remy's mother opens a storage room and brings out an old robotic machine. The machine looks like a small pet animal. Soon, it becomes Remy's companion. The robot can speak and talk with her, becoming her only friend in the lonely colony. One night after dinner, Remy's mother sits down and begins talking with Jerry. During this conversation, she finally reveals the truth. She explains that when they first arrived at this place, Jerry's parents were already dead. She tells him that they originally came from Earth. Their spaceship crashed on this planet, leaving them stranded here forever. Because of the crash, they were never able to return home. After hearing the truth, Jerry slowly begins to understand their situation. As time passes, the tension between them fades. Gradually, Remy's mother and Jerry begin forming a relationship. But when Remy notices this change, she cannot accept it. In her heart, Jerry will always remain the man who killed her father. Because of this, Remy finally makes a decision. She secretly packs her belongings and prepares to leave the colony. Without thinking about the consequences, she plans to escape. She has no idea where she will go next, but she knows one thing. There is no life waiting for her in the dangerous world outside. When Remy walks a little farther away from the colony, she suddenly realizes something shocking. The entire place where she lives is covered by a massive glass dome. This means that outside the dome, there is no life at all. Whatever little life exists on this planet survives only in the small area where Remy's house stands. While exploring further, Remy notices a gigantic door built into the structure of the dome. Curious and desperate to escape, she opens the door and slowly steps inside. Holding a small torch in her hand, Remy walks deeper into the dark tunnel beyond the door. As she moves forward, she notices a faint light shining somewhere in the distance. But the deeper she goes, the more difficult it becomes to breathe. The air inside the tunnel lacks oxygen, and the darkness grows heavier with every step. Soon, Remy's breathing becomes weak. Her vision starts to blur, and within moments, she collapses and faints on the cold ground. When Remy opens her eyes again, she finds herself lying on her own bed. It turns out that Jerry had gone after her and saved her life. He tells her the truth about the place beyond the door. According to him, there is nothing out there except endless dust, dirt, and poisonous air without oxygen. He tells Remy that she must accept reality. There is no escape from this place. One day, Jerry brings a guitar to the house. He asks Remy's mother to sing a song. After a moment of hesitation, she begins singing a song she used to sing with her family long ago. The moment reveals something important. It shows that she has slowly started accepting Jerry as part of her life. But when Remy sees this, she cannot handle it. She breaks down in tears and runs to her room, locking herself inside. Her mother tries to comfort her and calm her down, but Remy refuses to listen. The argument deeply frustrates Remy's mother. In anger, she suddenly grabs a gun and decides to kill Jerry. In her mind, she blames him for everything. She believes he is the reason her daughter hates her and the reason her husband is dead. She points the gun at Jerry and pulls the trigger. But nothing happens. The gun is empty. Realizing this, she immediately runs to grab a knife instead. Jerry quickly follows her. From outside the room, Remy watches the horrifying scene unfold. Within moments, Jerry overpowers her mother and kills her. Watching her mother die shatters Remy completely. Her world collapses. She never imagined that she would now be forced to live alone with the man who killed both her parents. Terrified, Remy tries to run away from the house, but Jerry quickly catches her. He tells her that she cannot survive alone in this world. Remy is still just a young girl and she has nowhere else to go. With no other choice, she is forced to stay with him. Later, Remy's mother is buried beside her father on the same mountain. Time continues to pass slowly. Years go by. Remy grows up and becomes a beautiful young woman. She still lives with Jerry, but she remains quiet and emotionally distant from him. The colony around them slowly becomes more alive. Animals begin filling the farm again, and vegetables grow in abundance. One day, Jerry gives Remy a gun loaded with bullets. He does this because during all these years, Remy never once tried to kill him. But this does not mean she forgave him. In fact, she still sees him as the murderer of her parents. She always keeps her distance from him. On the other hand, Jerry wishes things could be different. He wants Remy to forget the past and start living a peaceful life with him. One day, Jerry takes Remy to a small pond nearby. For the first time in her life, Remy steps into the water and bathes in the pond. Later, the two of them sit quietly near the water and drink together. When they return home, Jerry gives Remy something special. It is a picture drawn by her mother long ago. The moment Remy sees it, tears fill her eyes. But something about Jerry's behavior now feels strange. He hugs Remy in a way that makes her uncomfortable. The gesture frightens her. From that moment onward, Remy begins feeling unsafe around him. Even at night, she starts feeling afraid. Living with Jerry no longer feels the same. Jerry himself has also changed. He no longer sees Remy as the little girl he once protected. Instead, he sees a beautiful young woman standing before him. One day, Jerry openly speaks his thoughts. He tells Remy that as far as he knows, they might be the only humans left alive on the entire planet. He says they should stay together. They should have children and continue the human generation so that humanity does not disappear forever. But hearing this, Remy firmly refuses his proposal. Remy looks directly at Jerry and speaks with firm anger. She tells him that even if she becomes the last human in the world, she would never live with the man who killed her parents. After saying this, she walks out of the house with her robot companion. She spends a long time thinking about her life, and finally decides that she must leave this place forever. But Jerry soon realizes what Remy is planning. To stop her from escaping, he comes out of his room wearing a protective mask. Remy runs toward him, trying to grab the mask so she can escape outside. During the struggle, she accidentally falls to the ground and loses consciousness. When she wakes up, she finds herself tied to the bed. Jerry is sitting in front of her, and the dark intentions in his eyes are now impossible to hide. He calmly tells her that she still has time to think about his proposal, but Remy refuses to listen to a single word. Seeing her defiance, Jerry decides to force her. Remy begins screaming for help. Hearing her cries, the robotic machine suddenly rushes into the room. Using its built-in weapons, the robot attacks Jerry and throws him far across the room. For a moment, it seems as if the robot has saved her. But Jerry is still alive. He quickly grabs a gun and shoots the robot, destroying it completely. At that moment, Remy manages to free herself from the ropes. Without wasting a second, she grabs a rifle lying nearby. She points it at Jerry and pulls the trigger. The bullet hits Jerry directly in the head. This time, he is truly dead. Later, Remy drags his body to the mountain and buries him there. Now, everyone who once lived with her is gone. Time passes, and Remy slowly begins to realize how alone she truly is. Her robot friend is destroyed, and the house feels emptier than ever before. To ease the pain of loneliness, she often sleeps beside the graves of her parents. Days pass quietly as she continues caring for the animals and surviving on her own. Eventually, she repairs another robot machine she finds among the old equipment. But deep inside, she knows she cannot remain in this place forever. A new hope begins to grow in her heart. Maybe somewhere on this barren planet, another human being still exists. With that small hope, Remy prepares to leave the colony. Before leaving, she says goodbye to the robot that remained with her. While walking away, she looks back one last time at the house and the animals she raised. It is the only home she has ever known. Then she puts on a protective mask and walks toward the same tunnel she once explored as a child. This time, she is ready. Beyond the tunnel, she finally sees the endless barren land stretching far into the distance. Even though the world outside looks lifeless and dangerous, Remy continues moving forward. She wants to know the truth. Is she truly the last human alive? No matter what dangers lie ahead, she refuses to stop searching for other people. Whether she succeeds or fails, her journey will continue. Will Remy survive the harsh world beyond the dome? Will she ever find another human being? Remy's story ends here, leaving those questions unanswered.